Hello and welcome to more Nerdy Rodent geekery. If you've played with Z-Image Turbo, then you may like to have a go with their base model as well. Yes, it's slower, but you do get the benefit of negative prompting now, like they do here. Don't be sad. You may also find some style changes as well, but does their webpage tell the whole story? It's time to find out. For workflows, I like to go a step further than the basics and use the rodent method, which you can do too. Why would you do that? Well, I think the colourful little groups make things easier to both understand and to update as well. Don't forget you can use the built-in ComfyUI workflow via Browse Templates, but if you're looking to craft powerful workflows for yourself, then you can follow along with this free video tutorial. Remember, you can pause, rewind, or take screenshots at any time as you upgrade your Comfy skills and understanding. Do take note of my note here about sage attention, because if you start Comfy with that enabled, then you'll get all sorts of nasty artifacts on your images. If you are going the DIY route, then you'll need to install a few custom nodes to get the full power of the new Z-Image model, and if you've already followed along with my previous tutorial for Turbo, then the changes this week are very straightforward. Also, if you find these videos helpful, or perhaps you just like all the work done for you already and skip the whole DIY part, then you can support the channel via the Patreon link in the video description. Your support helps me make even more workflows for you and to share these free video tutorials with everyone. The freedom to choose is of course yours, and a huge thank you to all supporters because you make this possible. No rush job, low effort, wannabe first videos here. Instead, you'll find thoughtful deep dives into things, jam-packed with lovely details and real-world human testing by an actual nerd. Testing first with the free example workflow. This is my test prompt, which I'll be using for a good chunk of this video. It's much the same as I used for my Z-Image Turbo tutorial, so you should be able to easily compare. Of course, here we're using a CFG of 4 and 25 steps, so you'll be looking at something more like 45 seconds for an image instead of those lovely turbo speeds. If you change the shift value, then the image will shift a bit, like you can see here with the value of 5. We've lost the sky from that first image, and there are a few other minor changes as well. Not much else you can do with the free example, so let's give it some rodent power. Compared to Turbo, really the only thing you'll change here is the model. In the Load Diffusion model node, you'll notice there are some other clip models as well available from Comfy, meaning you could change the model in Load Clip as well. For me, the two mixed models worked okay, but the 8B version gave a computer says no error. The AI prompting section here hasn't changed from the Turbo edition, making that nice and easy. For the text prompt group, you can now use a negative prompt, so go ahead and add one of those. Use one of the KJ nodes set prompts like I'm showing here to save that for later, as we'll be using that throughout. For the stage 1 samplers, I've gone ahead and set the same steps and sampler for each, and that's the only new group really here compared to the Turbo workflow. Width and height settings are the same, so let's get into those stage 1 sampler groups. For basic text to image, we can now use a CFG guider node, as that takes both negative and positive prompts. As mentioned, it's a unified choice for the sampler and steps. And because we're using a negative prompt here, you can see the resulting image is slightly different, but still pretty decent. We have our rodent mage chillaxing on some rocks, and I think there's a decent amount of detail in there for both the fur and the beard. But of course, we can power that up a bit when we look at the stage 2 renders. Here in the detailed daemon section, I've deliberately used some quite high settings to make the changes super obvious, and of course the CFG guider node is used here again as well. Also remember, for each of these we're saving both the latent and the image output for use in later groups. Here in the image you can see there are now loads of rocks, and his belt has gone a little bit wild too. This version, on the other hand, has more fade. This time it's up to 0.85, which reduces the amount of extra details. It's much more like the original image, but we do have lots more rocks. Of course, it's up to you how much detail you want in each of your creations, so dial it up or down as much as you like. For the split sigmas, you'll see we have a very different result. Slightly richer colours, a more majestic beard, and a different pose posture. Note here I'm using a different sampler for the second custom sampler because, well, that's half the fun of split sigmas. In the image-to-image section, I do really like this result. The twin Big Ben towers have become two distant mages, and our female detective has transformed into the rodent mage. It isn't Z-Image Edit, but it is a fun way to get some interesting positionings for things. You can also use it to impact the style a bit as well. Remember, you can change the denoise for more or less variation. Talking of which, how about we lower that a bit and use a face mask? Here we are then, with a mask, so that only that masked portion of the image will change. The result in this case? Okay, a bit more like a sort of puppy, but it is only her face that has changed. Again, alter the denoise value for more or less change. How about that old Union control net? Does that still work with this base model? No, or at least it didn't for me. Never mind, at least when we do finally get a new Union control net, the group is there ready to use. That being the case, it's time to check out those stage 2 renders and see what upscaling detailers give us. Here is the image upscale group, and the changes are much the same as before. Simply swap in the CFG guider node along with the negative prompt. However, for these groups, I like to use a different number of steps along with a different sampler, thus those haven't changed. Again, change the denoise and scheduler to your liking. It can be tricky to see the changes, but that's where the compare nodes come in, and we'll head over there in just a second. The high-res fix group is much the same, and again, of course, we've swapped in the CFG guider and negative prompt using different samplers and a different number of steps. Of course, with these being upscales, you can use fewer steps than you would to generate the image initially. Let's take a look at image compare group 1 then. So this is the detailed daemon split sigmas versus the image upscaled version. So that's the base image in this case. And as we go across, we can see, yes, there's a little tiny change. Certainly his nose and mouth and the eyes change as well. There are some smaller detail changes on the rocks and his robes, but that's what image upscale is for, really, smaller changes. In image compare group 2, we've got that same base image, but this time with the high res fix. And now as we go across to see what changes, oh yeah, we've got loads more details coming in there. His eyes have changed. We've got some finer detail, I think, on the fur and beard, the nose, and also in the background. I think the rocks are becoming more clear, so they're a bit less blurry as well. How much does switching the clip model change the image? Let's take a look. This time I'm using the Qwen 3 4B FP8 mixed clip model. In the text to image group, we can see the result, and the image has changed, well, not really very much at all. This is the original image again, and the one with the new clip, so certainly very similar indeed. How about if we go for the FP4 mixed model then? Okay, yes, this time that is a fair bit different, but hey, it's FP4 and thus a less resource-hungry model with a smaller file size, which may be just what you're looking for. How about your old Turbo LoRAs then? Will they still work? This time I'm loading my 800-step Beardsley one here with a default strength, so what do you reckon? Oof. Kind of. I mean, I can see it has tried to change the style, but the overall composition is a bit off in this standard text-to-image group, isn't it? Down in split sigmas, however, the version is a lot better. So yes, your old LoRAs will kind of work, but I found it certainly better to train using the new base model. That is super easy to do, of course. Here's my old training workflow that I used for Z-Image Turbo. Link things appearing if you need to watch that video, or there are links in the video description. All you need to do here is change the DIT model, like you can see there. Do note, however, the other clip models don't seem to be supported just as yet, at least certainly with this trainer. AI Toolkit may be another kettle of fish entirely, but I haven't tested that one yet. Now, of course, we can see how much better it is if you retrain your LoRAs. First up then is one with the medium setting, 400 steps, rank 16. This time the result is very much better. As you can see, it's got the style of those images, which is excellent. The composition is great, and I think in some ways that's actually better than the original model. Excellent stuff. If you want more details, then of course the detailed daemon is the way to go, and there he is, still very similar to the original drawing, but of course now there's loads more detail, so lots more little red flowers and things in there. With the split sigmas version of Detailed Daemon, of course, we've got a very different image once again, and I think that one's very nice. We've got the richer colours and he's still chillaxing on the rock. That's a great image. Over in the image compare group now, we can have a look at the image upscale versus the base image. As we go across, we can see, yes, it's certainly adding a little bit more grain. That grain was more apparent in my original images when I was training the LoRA. So yes, I think that upscale does improve things. You can certainly see there on the knuckles, we've got a few extra details. The high-res fixed version will change a lot more, so let's go across and see what this does. Okay, straight away we've got some red centers for those flowers, and as we go across we've got more details on the hands. The eyes are changing to be a bit more like one of my LoRA images, and let's see as we go across even more. Yes, we've got colors on the flowers, more details on the hands, and some extra details on the rocks as well. Okay, how about if we go with max settings and 800 steps for this LoRA? Starting with the basic text to image, and yes, I can see that LoRA is definitely a lot stronger. We've got the eyes from one of my original images and also the blackness from one of those images as well. Using the detailed daemon node, we can see it's added lots more details. There's a little hut there now and all sorts of other things as well. And if we go the whole hog and use the detailed daemon split sigmas, then yes, the rodent face is definitely less furry. It's much more like one of my original LoRA image files, but the result there, of course, is still very good, and it's definitely followed the style. Even more? Sure, why not? This is max settings 1200 steps this time. Interestingly enough, in the basic text to image, the rodent mage face still looks very much like a rodent. The style is coming through nicely, and that may or may not be better than the 800 step version. With the detailed daemon version, we have once again got those extra details, so lots more flowers in this particular result. And if we take a look at the detailed daemon with split sigmas, we'll see he's actually got a tail this time as well, so that's very nice. He's got a good belt there, tied in a knot. Well, I think that's possibly one of the best images so far. Excellent. So we've covered LoRAs, the various clip models, detailing and upscaling. It's time for a few quick style tests. And here I'm asking for a Japanese anime art style cartoon illustration of a tiny rodent engineer building a huge robot in his garden shed. This time, however, I've also enabled the AI prompt enhancer using Gemma 3.4b. So the actual prompt the model is seeing is a whole lot longer. There you can see the entire thing. The result is pretty decent. It certainly followed the prompt. It's a little bit wibbly and squishy around the sides there, and of course the spanner seems to have two heads rather than one, but of course there is a little rodent in the middle creating the robot, so I guess it's followed the prompt and created the style pretty well. How about this style then? A watercolour painting of a woman drinking a delicious cup of tea at home. Watercolour, of course, often doesn't work with these models, but how has Z-Image Base handled it? Very well indeed, I would say. That's actually one of the most reasonable watercolour images I've seen out of models in a long while. Very good. Well done, Z-Image. How about another style then? This time I'm asking for a claymation style image of a dragon flying to the moon, the forest below bathed in moonlight. Looks pretty decent to me. Okay, so the rest of the forest isn't claymation, it's just the dragon that's claymation style, but perhaps with another run through the prompt enhancer, that would look a bit better. Still, overall, pretty good. Another one that most models fail on, the charcoal art drawing with black smudges and thick lines, and the paper texture can be seen. We should have an old rectangular sign with rotting borders hanging above an ancient cheese shop in London. The sign should read, "I like cheese." The result here is pretty decent. It's almost a charcoal art style. We've got some colours which I didn't necessarily want, but it's certainly better than a lot of the models that I've seen. We've got the nice sketchy details over on the right and the cobblestone. So yes, once again, a very decent result. And now perhaps the most difficult thing in the entire world, a cubist art style oil painting of a zebra dancing with a cucumber. Alright, now that's actually as close as I've seen any of these models do so far with an actual cubist art style oil painting. Well done, Z-Image. Now, if you like getting all nerdy with workflow details and stuff, then don't forget to like and subscribe for even more Nerdy Rodent geekery.
Ooh, Nerdy Rodent. He really makes my day. Showing us AI in a really British way.